Welcome back. As you know, I am Eli, the computer guy, here for the Daily Blob, where I shake my brain nipples every day to get the dirty, dirty YouTube money so I can afford to provide you folks hands-on technology education. Silicon Dojo, silicondojo.com. We do in-person hands-on technology education that empowers you to do whatever the hell it is you want to do in Durham, North Carolina. We have a class coming up on AI and web scraping pretty soon. We have many other classes coming up. If you're interested, make sure to go to silicondojo.com to see what our current schedule is. And if you're interested in supporting the project, there is a donor box link down below. Do remember, free to the end user is not actually free. We do need some of that dirty YouTube money in order to make this whole thing work. And I'm happy and I'm excited to say we are in fact getting more and more of that dirty YouTube money. I was surprised. Last Friday, a couple of days ago, as far as I am concerned, we had our third highest day for views ever for this particular YouTube channel. I've been doing videos since 2009. The third best day ever for views. The first best day, I don't know, somehow I got connected with PewDiePie like 10 years ago and that blew up my channel for half a second. So that's kind of a fluke. The second best day was actually only a couple of thousand more views than we had on Friday. So when you're sitting there going, Eli, why are you doing videos like this? We don't want these videos. We want real tech education. All I have to say is, liar! Liar! Anyways, today, the important thing that we want to talk about today is our favorite telenovela. The telenovela that Eli, the computer guy, cannot just get enough of. That is right, Netherlands versus Nexperia and the disaster of modern trade war. So I've been talking about this particular story, for about a month now, and it's a story that has no end. It's kind of like the current dumpster fire we're in. It just keeps going and going. Like every day or two, there's another twist, there's another turn in this story, and it looks like we're getting back to the point where Nexperia China, the Chinese component of Nexperia, is going to start sending some chips to the outside world. Who knows? Long story short, if you haven't kept up with this, basically there's this company called Nexperia that's headquarters in the Netherlands. They have factories, wafer factories in Europe, plus research in Europe, plus their headquarters. But they ship all of the wafers and everything to China to actually be packaged into the final product. These are chips that go into things like cars and that type of deal. Basically, Nexperia was purchased like back in 2018 or so by this company called Wingtech, which is a fully Chinese company. And basically, at the end of September, the Netherlands government came in and, using a national security law, they seized Nexperia's headquarters because of, reasons. Chinaman has our chips in his pocket. The chips that Chinaman purchased and manufactured and designed, he had in his pocket, which of course are our chips, which is basically about how it went, right? Anyways, right, there's this whole national security thing. Anyways, afterwards, basically, the Chinese government said Nexperia's Chinese division could not export the finished products anymore because their main headquarters was seized. And then it's just been, again, we've got so many videos. I just need to do a Nexperia playlist. And so now it appears that the Netherlands are now on their knees slobbering over Xi's ring, because that's definitely how this was supposed to turn out. We showed them Chinaman was what? Yeah, what did we show Chinaman again? yeah, white guy in the back. White guy, what exactly did we show the Chinaman again? I am a bit confused on the lesson that Chinaman was supposed to learn. I understand the lesson that Chinaman did learn. They did learn. I'm not sure the lesson Chinaman was supposed to learn here. Anyways, right? So now apparently the Netherlands is back on their knees. They're on their knees. Like they went from the power. We are strong. We have strong national security laws. Our national security laws have thumbs. like Lutnick would like. Anyways, they went from this idea of we have a strong national security policy to now they're basically on the ground groveling. Because the issue is, again, with Nexperia, is these packaged ships that go out, they get shipped all over the world. Like when we talk about this shutting down auto manufacturing, we're actually not just saying it's shutting down auto manufacturing in Europe. Brazil, like the first factory to be fully affected by this chip shortage was actually a Honda factory in Mexico. So a Japanese company's factory in Mexico was the first to be massively hit. Alabama auto factories are being hit. Brazilian auto factories are being hit. Japanese. Basically, everybody in the world is being hit by this, other than Toyota. Toyota is like, sucks to be everybody else. I guess you should have worried about your supply chain. Anyways, right? So now we have the Netherlands. We talked about this in the last video. They're on their knees groveling. They're on their knees groveling. You know, we lead from our knees. We show our position of strength while we are on our knees, sputtering for forgiveness. Oh, it just seems like so 2025 right now. So anyways, I talked about it in the last video where the Netherlands was like, we're willing to say we fucked up if you just start shipping fucking chips again. And it looks like Beijing is signaling to start shipping some chips again. Because when you kick a man in the nuts and then you prove that you're actually pretty damn weak, don't be surprised when they're not so quick to forgive and forget. And I think this will be kind of curious going on to the future, again, with modern supply chains, with everything going on. The Trump administration, my president, my senile old president, right? With the trade war going on and the AI wars going on and everything else going on. I think this is an interesting point in time. Anyways, coming from CNBC, Nexperia's parent shares jumped 6% as Beijing signals thaw intentions with the Netherlands. We're just gonna let the Europeans sputter and cry a little bit more. See how that goes. And then I think we'll start shipping some more chips here. Shares of Wing Technology, parent company of chipmaker Nexperia, extended gains on Monday after Beijing agreed to further talks with a Dutch delegation, easing concerns about a global auto supply crunch. Shanghai-listed Wing Technology saw its shares jump by as much as 6.4% on Monday, after surging 9.7% in the final minutes of trading Friday. The Chinese Commerce Ministry said in a statement Sunday that it had taken steps to allow exports of certain chips from Nexperia's China facility, while urging the European Union to press the Dutch government to lift restrictions on the firm. In a separate statement on Saturday, Beijing said it has agreed to the Dutch government's request to send representatives to Beijing for talks. Notice, that's how you can see where the power is in a relationship. Whose ass gets on a plane to go where? The Dutch are getting on a fucking plane to go to China. Anyways, and that it hoped the Netherlands would propose, quote, constructive solutions and take concrete actions to resolve the dispute over Nexperia soon. The move followed a statement from the Dutch Economic Affairs Minister, Vincent Kermans, last Thursday, which suggested Nexperia chips would reach customers in Europe and beyond in the coming days, citing, quote, the constructive nature of our talks with the Chinese authorities. Suppliers have begun receiving shipments from China, according to a note on Saturday from a team of auto mobility analysts led by Dan Levy at Barclays. However, the analysts warned that the low chip inventories could still cause disruptions in the near term. They added that the relief appeared, quote, temporary, as the core dispute between Nexperia's Dutch headquarters and its China-based operation remains unresolved. And that's the thing. That's the thing about the current world with all these trade wars, and basically, again, the world that Trump has created over the past 9 months is one of the big issues to be thinking about here. Is we are told, yay, it's over, but it's not really over. The problems have not actually been resolved. The issue that's coming up here is that the consequences of the events that have occurred are so severe, everybody wants to walk the consequences back. And the problem that creates then is we never really actually know when this horse crap is over, right? With the Trump administration, right? The Trump administration right now is really excited because they got a deal. Well, they say they got a deal. China hasn't said shit. But anyways, Trump, the administration says they have a deal for China to every year, like, renew the licensing for rare earth materials. And the problem you get there is that it means every fucking year you have to worry about this horse shit. Right? And it's not that it's just every year you have to worry about it, but remember, for businesses and the rest of it, they have to be planning for the future. So basically, what the Trump administration has done is they have put the entire industrial base in the United States in a place of questioning what it will look like 13 months from now, right? The best any factory in the United States currently can project is out to 12 months, right? Okay, if we've renewed for a year, we know that for 12 months, this is how it's supposed to be. Who the hell knows what will actually happen? And then they've got to go there from there, and a massive amount of uncertainty. One of the issues that you have here is, okay, so China is now shipping out these chips. That's a good thing. All the way around, no snark about that. The problem is, for how long? For how long? And the issue is, if they start shipping chips for a couple of weeks, and then they feel like the Netherlands isn't doing what the Netherlands is supposed to do, they could cut off that chip supply again, right? They could go for a couple of months and then cut off the chip supply again. Now that they know they can cut off the chip supply, again, one of the dangers here, right? One of the things the United States has put out there, one of our policies, is this whole idea of licensing who can buy a product and who can't buy a product. Now China knows it's okay to say this country can buy a product, but this country can't. So now what happens, again, with these global auto manufacturers, what happens if they have factories in certain countries that China simply will not allow chips to be shipped to? How does that deal with their supply chain and all that kind of thing? So that's where this is the story that will have no end. We are going to be talking about Nexperia for a long, long time. We're just gonna start calling this channel Eli the Nexperia Guy channel, because let's be honest, every day or two we are going to have another video talking about Nexperia because this is the crap show that is just going to keep going. The other thing that I find interesting with China right now that they feel comfortable putting on export controls, is if you look at other articles about this, they keep talking about they will provide export licenses for civilian purposes. Right? As long as it's going into products for civilian purposes, they'll give the export licenses. Not civilian purposes, they won't give the export license. And the interesting thing, again, you look at a $3 million missile, right? There's a lot of very expensive components in there, but I bet there's also probably a lot of, little, $2, $5, $50 chips in there that might be coming from companies like Nexperia. What happens when our next version of Tomahawk missile can't get the Chinese silicon to make the damn things work? That will be a curious question. So that is currently what is going on. Is it over? No. Yay! We have a partial cessation of hostilities to some degree for some amount of time, as long as Europeans know their fucking place in the world. Dear Europeans, were you wondering where the fuck you were on the world stage? The answer, I hope you got this point, is you're not on the fucking stage. You're in the audience box. And as long as you understand that, I guess the world will keep ticking along. I don't know. It's a hell of a thing. What do you think about this? What do you think about just the entire disaster with Nexperia? What do you think about this with China now offering a limited amount of chips going out in the world? How many? Who knows? For how long? Who knows? What do you think about this as a European? Are you a European watching this? Are you a proud European? Are you excited that the Netherlands proved just how fucking insignificant you jackasses are in 2025? Is it nice to know where your place is? Like, well, the important thing was we really didn't understand our place in the world. Yeah, you get your place now? I don't know. Put your thoughts down below. If you like these videos, give us a thumbs up. If you hate these videos, give us some thumbs down. Call me amazing, call me a moron. Just be a real Lutnick and make sure your comment has American thumbs down there. Anyways, as I've said before, the main reason I do this is for Silicon Dojo, silicondojo.com, free to end user hands-on technology education that empowers you to do whatever the hell it is you want to do in Durham, North Carolina. Take a look at silicondojo.com to see what our current schedule is. Again, remember, free to end user is not free. That is why I actually shake my brain nipples every day. If you want to throw some money into the donor box link down below, that would be ever so lovely. And with that, see y'all later.